Hello and welcome back to the Ethanol Review. This week we're going to be talking about mezcal. What it is, what it's all about, how does it relate to tequila. All of this and more will be revealed in this episode, and we'll be featuring a beautiful small batch mezcal from Del Maguey, their single village Chichicapa. Say it with me, Chichicapa. First and foremost, what is mezcal? Mezcal is a mother spirit of sorts. Think of whiskey. Whiskey has many subcategories of itself. You have bourbon whiskey, Irish whiskey, Scotch whiskey, Tennessee whiskey, rye whiskey, on and on and on. So whiskey is a mother spirit in that respect. Mezcal is the equivalent, but for agave spirits. Tequila is a mezcal, right? Bourbon is a whiskey, tequila is a mezcal. Mezcal is a much broader spectrum than we think it is. Mezcal can be made with over 30 different agave types. Tequila is made with Blue Weber agave only. That's part of the restrictions on producing tequila. Mezcal can be made with lots of different agaves, and the production method is a bit different than tequila and other agave, well, not agave, Sotal's not agave, but spirits made in Mexico that are kind of like cousin spirits. So in terms of production process, generally speaking, and I'm sure there's exceptions to this, but mezcal is, they take the hearts, the piñas of the agave. So imagine it, the big, bushy, spiky agave, kind of looks like a giant aloe vera on steroids. When you take away all those arms, all those shoots, there's a heart, there's a base called a piña, right? Heart piña, and that's where all the shootlets grow out of. So they chop all that away, get to the piña, crush that up in whatever method they choose, rip it, shred it, stomp it, mash it, smash it, and they put it into these pits they dig into the ground with hot coals. So they put all the piñas in there, and then they cover up the pits so that the smoke doesn't fully escape and it stays within the final spirit. So generally speaking, mezcal tends to have a smoky character. Now, what level that smoky character is going to be will be entirely up to the producer. There is a particular brand called Montelobos that we use at the bar, and it has very low smoke. It almost reminds me of a more robust tequila. But then you have some like Ilegal. Their Mezcal Joven, which is unaged, is incredibly smoky. It smells almost like a scotch from Isla. Now, of the 9 Mexican states that mezcal can be produced in, there's really one big player, especially in terms of what we see in the US, and that is the state of Oaxaca. Oaxaca is in southern Mexico, and that's where the vast majority of mezcal production comes from. And it actually comes from one specific type of agave mostly as well, and that's Espadin agave. A lot of artisanal mezcal production is going on with all those different kinds of agave, but generally speaking, if you see mezcal in the US, chances are it's made in Oaxaca and it's produced from the Espadin agave. Chichicapa from Del Maguey is just that. It's from Oaxaca and it's made with Espadin agave. And this is a incredibly high quality example of those two things happening. Del Maguey is an incredibly special mezcal producer. They have a really unique method of going about it. So like I said, they're from Oaxaca and they're using Espadin agave in this particular example. But these guys are single village mezcals, and so what that really means is they have these different villages who produce their own tradition-based mezcals, for generations sometimes, and Maguey works with these individual villages to produce what's in these bottles. Chichicapa is the village that this particular mezcal was made at, and so you're going to see its own traditions and methods of production which will affect it yeast strains probably, all the different aspects that go into actually producing it, but also the terroir where the actual agave is being harvested will have a very big impact as well. And I always get excited about producers who are utilizing terroir in their products. And again, as a reminder, terroir, we're talking about a sense of place where the actual item is being grown at, where the item to be distilled is being grown. Terroir is talked a lot about in wine. Where are the grapes grown at? What's the altitude, the soil, moisture, how old are the vines, yada, yada, yada. So when these guys are doing this single village, they're really going around to these small little places in Mexico and Oaxaca and taking little bits of their culture out and sharing it with the world. Most of us in America are never going to go to these little villages where mezcal is being produced like this. So it's wonderful that these guys are bringing it to us, and especially when it tastes as good as the Chichicapa does. It's fantastic. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and taste it. Perfectly clear. It's a Blanco or Joven. Sometimes it's called Joven with mezcal, but that's just saying that it's unaged. It hasn't been in the oak, so it's just going to be clear, just distilled spirit. I feel like I need to tell you, when I opened this up to pour it, the aroma just leaps out of the glass, almost like when you open a Lafroig, if there's any single malt Scotch drinkers who like Isla, but specifically Lafroig, you open it up, it's just like boom! Well, it's that way with this mezcal, with the Chichicapa. It's got a beautiful aroma, and it's really big, pungent, beautiful aroma. Begs to be consumed, so we're gonna do that. By the way, in case you're wondering why I slipped into something a little more comfortable, I recently found out that through YouTube statistics that the majority of my viewers are in fact women. So I'm wondering, maybe I'm just like a new form of a cam girl. I'm just much hairier and way less pretty. Anyway though, for you ladies, here I am. You can donate to my new cam site, jeremygoeswild.com/looking for a good time. All right, enough of that. So let's go ahead and give this a try. I don't think that this is an actual descriptor, maybe, but to me, this is white caramel. It has this floral caramel character, nothing deep or dark, kind of vegetal, but there's this, it's just such an interesting caramel-like character, and I could only qualify it as white caramel. That's what the nose smells like. There's a bit of pepper as well, a little bit of pepper, a savory note. Really gentle though on the nose, no burn of alcohol, and I think this is pretty high, 48%. So you don't get the heat of the alcohol really at all, which is great, and that's part of why this is such a masterfully crafted mezcal. That's part of it at least. Great aroma. Wow. It's intense. And I mean that in a good way though, but when it first hits your tongue, there's a zing, like intense energy is being transferred onto your palate. Really intense, and you worry for a second that it's gonna turn into something bad, like drinking something that's hot with too much heat from the alcohol or fusel alcohols. And it leads you to believe that's gonna happen, but it doesn't. That intensity recedes down into this caramel agave, this white caramel character, with lots of earth, kind of a minerally earth, like stone and rock. It seems representative of what the terroir must be like, kind of in a desert environment, hot days, lots of stone and dirt. But then the sweetness of the agave comes through, and all those floral, just flowery notes are coming through. Still though, very intense, got some body, got some punch, but it's a punch that turns into a caress. And I should say though, you shouldn't drink mezcal neat, especially a blanco or a joven, unless you're getting really good quality mezcal, or your palate is ready for what it's gonna bring. It's almost as intense as the Sotol that I tried not too long ago, but this is more refined and there's more depth of character, a longer finish, much more complexity. Still though, very intense. 48% alcohol, and it's not hiding behind oak at all. This is just the spirit as it is. Ladies, thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry. Thank you everyone for watching. See us next week. We're gonna do some more cool stuff. I'm thinking about bringing some more rum into the equation. I've got a lot of rum at the house. But this mezcal is really cool, really unique. You may can find this. I think that Liquor Express was trying to order it. I don't know if they got it yet, but this is a really cool, unique mezcal. It'll put hair on your chest, but it'll also expand your mind and your palate. But if you enjoyed the show, like it, subscribe, share with your friends, hit the bell next to the subscribe button, and that'll give you notifications every time I release a video. That being said though, I try to release a video every Monday when I can, but sometimes life gets in the way. But otherwise, if you want to show some support, go to patreon.com/theethanolreview. You can donate whatever the hell you want. I'll appreciate it. This is all self-funded. I'm gonna continue regardless though. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Cheers.